Hello friends and neighbors. Today I'm going to show you how I make this easy and delicious deep dish pizza in a cast iron skillet. For this particular recipe today, I'm going to be using a 12-inch cast iron skillet. So if you're using a smaller skillet, or if you like thin crust pizza, you may want to cut this recipe in half. The first thing we want to do is to get our pizza dough going so it'll have time to rise. And first I'm going to proof my yeast, and to do that you just add 2 cups of warm water to a bowl, 2 packets of active dry yeast, and if you have the jar of yeast like I do, it'll tell you on the back of the label how many teaspoons equal 1 packet. I'm also going to add in 1 teaspoon of sugar, and I'm going to mix that and just let that sit. This is what it should look like after about 5 minutes. You should see the tiny bubbles forming on the surface, and that lets you know that your yeast is good. To this bowl I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and I'm going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to mix that together with a wooden spoon. You can use an electric mixer here if you like. Just mix it on a low speed. I'm going to slowly add in another 2 cups of flour, a cup at a time, until it starts to form a dough. Now once we get to this part, we're going to start kneading our dough, and I'm going to knead it right in the bowl. It's less cleanup that way, but you can turn it out onto a lightly floured surface like a cutting board or your countertop and knead it that way. If your dough is too sticky and it's sticking to your hands and fingers, you can add up to another cup of flour. Just add it slowly, a tablespoon at a time, until it gets to where it's not sticking to your hand. And I'm also going to season my dough. I'm going to add in some onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. And then we're just going to knead it for 5 to 6 minutes. After 5 minutes, it should look like this. And now we're going to cover the bowl. I'm going to use a clean tea towel. You can use plastic wrap if you'd rather, and move it to a warm place. And now we're just going to let it set and rise for about 30 minutes. This is how it looks after 30 minutes. And now we can get started on the rest of our pizza components. We're going to take our cast iron skillet and set it to a medium heat. And also we're going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees. For this pizza, I'm going to use bacon and pepperoni, but you can use any meat or vegetable toppings that you like. And I'm just going to use my kitchen shears to cut up the bacon into little bite-sized pieces. After the bacon has fried a little bit, I'm going to add in pepperoni, and I'm going to cut it up just like I did the bacon into little bite-sized pieces. And once the bacon and the pepperoni gets crispy, we're going to remove it to a bowl and set it aside. If you have a lot of bacon grease left in your skillet, you might want to remove some of it, but you want to leave a little bit in the bottom, and I just use a clean paper towel to wipe it up the sides of the skillet. It helps prevent the pizza crust from sticking. And then while the skillet is still warm, I want to add my pizza crust. This helps get a nice crisp crust on the bottom. Just be careful when you're patting it out not to burn yourself. If the crust sticks to your fingers, you can use a little bit of vegetable oil on the tips of your fingers, and that helps a lot. And once you get the pizza dough patted out to the thickness that you like, use a fork to poke some holes in the bottom of the crust. And now we're going to start layering our pizza. I'm going to start with the pizza sauce, and you can use any sauce you like. And to that, I'm going to add mozzarella cheese. After this, I'm going to add a layer of whole pepperonis, and you can use any meat or topping that you like here. And then the next layer, I'm going to use some more cheese. I like to mix the cheeses on my pizza, so I'm going to use a Fiesta blend, but you can add more mozzarella here if you like. And then to the very top, we're going to add our crispy bits of bacon and pepperoni. And now our pizza is ready to go in the oven. Our oven should be at 450 degrees, and I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. While our pizza is baking, I'm going to make some garlic butter. And this is really easy to do. You just take a small saucepan, add some butter. I'm going to use about a half a stick. And then once it melts over a low heat, we're going to add in some garlic powder. I use about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder and a pinch of salt, and just mix that together. After our 15 minutes is up, I'm going to remove the pizza, and I'm going to take a brush and brush garlic butter along the crust of the pizza. Then I'm going to put it back in the oven and let it bake for another 5 minutes or so. And that's it. Your pizza is done and ready to eat. You can serve it with a side of the garlic butter for dipping sauce. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.